Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on News Track, reaching you live from our RFA facility. My name is Yaksat Maklek. The Independent National Electoral Commission has announced that the nationwide continuous voter registration exercise will resume for its third and final phase on Monday, May 11th, 2026. INEC Chairman of Information and Voter Education Committee, Muhammad Haruna, in a statement said the exercise, which was earlier suspended, will run until July 10th, 2026. INEC explained that the suspension of the second phase was necessary to enable it clean up the voter register following its publication for claims and objections for registrants. The Commission urged eligible Nigerians who have attained the age of 18, as well as those who were unable to register during earlier phases, to take advantage of the final window to do so. It also advised already registered voters seeking to transfer their registration, replace lost or damaged permanent voter cards, or correct their biodata to visit its online portal or any of its state and local government offices nationwide. INEC disclosed that the voters' register will be displayed for claims and objections from July 23rd to 29th in line with statutory provisions. He noted that the exercise would give citizens the opportunities to scrutinize the register and help ensure its accuracy and credibility. The Commission assured Nigerians that all necessary arrangements have been concluded for a smooth exercise, while appealing to eligible citizens to participate and contribute to strengthening the country's electoral process. The Plateau State Government has commenced a 4-day capacity building workshop for accountants in the state civil service aimed at strengthening public financial management and promoting accountability. Governor Caleb Mutfwang, who declared the workshop open, announced plans to introduce a merit-based system which will reward 5 outstanding accountants annually with international training opportunities. Our Government House correspondent reports the workshop was organized by Office of the Accountant General of the State with the theme Public Financial Management, Achieving Financial Excellence. The report.
Organized the second time by the present administration in the state to boost the capacity of accountants in all government MDAs, the workshop aims to upscale efficiency and promote prudence among managers of the state finances. Declaring the workshop open, Governor Caleb Mutfwang cautioned accountants against complacency, stressing that financial excellence must begin with personal excellence and encourage union leaders to embrace dialogue rather than industrial action when addressing concerns.
If you don't have an excellent mindset, you cannot produce excellent financial accounting.
The governor also highlighted ongoing civil service reforms, urging workers to promote government achievements while charging accountants to block financial leakages and ensure prudent use of public resources with integrity.
The best 5 accountants in the state will be sponsored for international training in 2025.
State Commissioner of Finance, Grace Donkum, enjoined participants to take full advantage of the training to improve their skills, enhance efficiency, and boost productivity in service delivery.
I want to encourage all the participants to be free to air your views. This is an interactive session. This is a learning session. This is an unlearning session. So for those things you're supposed to unlearn, please unlearn them and learn the ones that you're supposed to learn.
On his part, the State Head of Civil Service, Stephen Gadon, described accountants as the backbone of the state financial system, emphasizing the need for financial prudence, fiscal discipline, and strict adherence to ethical standards.
In the civil service, now, business as usual is no longer acceptable. As such, financial excellence is not an abstract idea. It is the practical discipline of ensuring that every naira and kobo delivers maximum value to the people, government services.
In a closing remark, The State Accountant General, Namret Mangset, expressed appreciation to the governor for his continuous support and appeal for the renovation of the ministry's Treasury House. This is Timothy Tim.
The Technical Committee on Aviation Services and Infrastructure Development, inaugurated by the Plateau State Government, has carried out an inspection of airport facilities as part of efforts to assess operations and improve service delivery. The inspection focused on evaluating key infrastructure, including runway, terminal facilities, and safety systems to ensure compliance with aviation standards. Our correspondent tells us more.
Members of the Technical Committee on Aviation Services and Infrastructure Development, while conducting an on-the-spot assessment at the Yakubu Gowon Airport, engaged relevant airport authorities to obtain first-hand information on the current state of operations. Chairman of the committee, Kudla Satumari, said the exercise is expected to generate recommendations that will guide necessary repairs, upgrades, and long-term maintenance strategies.
The way the government has opened up the economy in the mining, agriculture, and other sectors are receiving so much investors coming in and out, and we want to make Jos to be one of the most attractive city for investment.
The chairman said upgrading the Yakubu Gowon Airport to meet international standards will make the state not just a destination for tourism, but also improve economic development. He stressed the Plateau State government's commitment to strengthening critical infrastructure and ensuring that airport facilities meet required operational standards.
Looking at the fire service and the facilities available, looking at the terminal building to upgrade it to a standard that is very befitting. When somebody steps into a country or a city, these are the impressions that they get first. And that is what we want to do to make sure that we give a world-class futuristic airport that is befitting to the new plateau that is in the offing.
The committee is expected to submit its findings and recommendations to guide necessary upgrades and policy decisions as governments continue efforts to ensure safe and reliable aviation services in the state. In Jos, Modesty, Nianglong.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has issued a nationwide alert over rising temperatures, warning that the conditions could trigger heat stress in several parts of the country. In a recently released advisory, the agency said increasing temperatures across Nigeria may pose health risks, particularly in some northern states. The areas of concern listed by NIMET include Niger, Kebbi, Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, Kano, Yobe, Jigawa, Bauchi, Gombe, Borno, and Adamawa states. The heat index projections indicate critical heat levels across parts of north, central, and southern regions of Nigeria. NIMET urged residents to take precautionary measures to reduce the risk of heat-related illnesses. It said the presence of fine dust particles over parts of the northern states combined with extreme heat would increase health risks such as heat exhaustion, heat stroke, and possible meningitis outbreaks. The agency encouraged people to drink plenty of water and to remain in well-ventilated or air-conditioned spaces where possible, avoid overcrowded and poorly ventilated spaces, and ensure proper ventilation while also limiting exposure to direct sunlight. It also advised citizens to wear hats, sunshades, and sunscreen when outdoors and to choose light and breathable clothing. NIMET implored parents and caregivers to ensure that infants are kept cool and well hydrated, warning that children should never be left inside parked vehicles. And Chairman, Plateau State Universal Basic Education Board, Sunday Amuna, says the basic education subsector is being repositioned to lay a solid foundation for learners across the state. Amuna stated this while declaring an open day 3-day training for teachers holding in Jos. Our correspondent tells us more.
The 3-day teachers training of trainers tagged Enhancing Access to Quality Education for Lifelong Learning, organized by the Girls Education Mission International in collaboration with Plateau State Universal Basic Education Board, American Spaces University of Jos, and funded by T.Y. Danjuma Foundation, had head teachers and quality assurance officers as participants. Declaring the training open, Chairman State Universal Basic Education Board Sunday Amuna emphasized the need for participants as head of their various schools to constantly develop their administrative skills to serve as role models and lay a solid foundation for learners.
Can our learners say they want to become teachers in the future because they see their head teacher being a role model? These are questions we need to look at ourselves.
Executive Director Girls Education Mission International Ketura Shama said participants would undergo rigorous training in contemporary topics, noting that the aim is to enhance access to quality education in public primary schools in the state.
What we are doing with T.Y. Danjuma Foundation is to strengthen the monitoring mechanism in the public schools. So it's not that we don't have a good policy. We have the policy, but you are responsible of translating that policy at the grassroots level. So you will be trained on how to carry out that responsibility effectively.
T.Y. Danjuma Foundation Monitoring and Evaluation Officer Tasu Akula explains that the foundation is passionate about teacher training, stressing that it has funded several education programs in Plateau and across the country.
It is recognizing that when somebody is informed correctly, the assumption is that they will behave correctly.
Director American Spaces University of Jos, Professor Katrina Kopp, while highlighting services rendered by the center, pointed out that laying a solid foundation is critical to learners' development. There were goodwill messages from the State Coordinator Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, Kabir Ibrahim, and Director Special Programs, PEP, among others. I am Gakop Timothy.
And talking health matters, a 3-day trauma and counseling training has been organized by Community Initiative for the Emancipation of Vulnerable Children and Women to equip participants with skills to support victims of crisis. Executive Director of the organization, Siwese Isaiah, says the training aims at helping affected individuals recover from traumatic experiences and rebuild their lives. Our correspondent was at the Tado House Conference Hall in Rayfield, Jos, venue of the exercise.
The 3 days trauma and counseling training has as theme survival-centered pathway, healing, empowerment and resilience. Executive Director, Community Initiative for the Emancipation of Vulnerable Children and Women, Sewese Isaiah, explained that the program funded by Global Affairs Canada via Action Aid Nigeria is designed to help survivors of recent crises overcome the impact of violence while providing them with support.
We're working in Barkin Ladi and Gariawai and Gwanrukuba with women survivors of conflict. And the whole idea is to provide trauma healing, or let's say trauma counseling. We want to commence or let's say proceed where they have started receiving trauma counseling or psychosocial support to, help them recover. And at the end of it, to be providing a little token of money to the vulnerable women who have lost their livelihoods as a result of the crisis, to help them boost livelihoods and recover all that they have lost.
Facilitators of the training, Rhoda Udain, John Demboyi, and Rachel Bature, among others, enlightened participants on various gender-based violence, trauma, conflict, and early warning signs sessions. A traditional leader from Dorua Babuje, Sambo Chalom, appreciated the organization for the support.
What they are teaching, the changes they are providing for my women, is an additional thing for us.
Some participants, Rhoda Joseph, Favor Ayuba, and Felicia Awasak, said the program will better help them to forgive as well as manage their emotions well in such situations. The event featured the inauguration of Women Peace Security Network for Angwandorua community in Jos, Rotkan, Nanfa.
And from the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump says the U.S. is pausing its operation to guide stranded ships through the Strait of Hormuz. However, its blockade of Iranian ports will continue. The U.S. president adds that the pause will last for a short period of time to see whether or not a peace deal with Iran can be finalized and signed. And dubbed Project Freedom, the U.S. operation said it would help free the 2,000 ships and 20,000 seafarers the United Nations estimates have been stuck at sea in the Strait. Iranian state media hails the move as victory, saying Trump has retreated and accuses the president of trying to cover up the failure of his operation. Meanwhile, on Tuesday, the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the offensive stage of the Iran war is over and that the U.S. had achieved its objectives. But that wraps it up for us on News Track, reaching you live from our refuge facility. You can stay tuned for global news that comes up by 6:30 p.m. and news update by 10 p.m., as well as other programs that comes up on the platform. Thanks for joining and bye for now.